Happy weekend, everyone. Welcome to part 2 of my sewing series. So I took a little bit of a break the past weekend only because I had some home stuff that I really wanted to take care of because that's how I stay productive and that's how I manage my time really well. But I am back just to show you how painstaking it is to not actually have a sewing room and do sewing materials or sewing craft. Trust me, things are much easier if you have a sewing table dedicated just for cutting fabric. It makes this a lot easier. So if that doesn't work, if you don't have one, you can always do it on the floor like I'm doing. It works just as well as having a sewing table. It's just a little tedious, and I have to admit, watching this video, I felt like I want to be a zillionaire one day so I could just hire people to cut the patterns out and I could just sew in peace, because honestly this part is where it stresses me out. So when you are sewing your pattern to your fabric, make sure you're paying attention to the instructions, because some call for you to cut it on the fold and some call for you to cut it not on the fold. So you want to make sure you're really careful when you are sewing down smaller pieces like this item that's going to go for the belt. I like to use pins instead of the fabric clips that I was using earlier. It's just a lot easier to maneuver. And to be honest, when you're watching this video, I don't know why I was cutting my material like this. I think I was just really tired and over it. So I am cutting it the wrong way, but I cut two just in case the first one I mess up. Some things call for only one piece, but if you feel like you haven't mastered a skill, I suggest just cutting two pieces. So if you make a mistake, you can always go back and fix it with the second piece. And of course, I'm a huge clean as you go kind of person, so that I don't make any mess that I'll regret afterwards. After you're done cutting all your pieces, you want to lay them exactly how the instructions will tell you on the pattern pieces. This is really important because you don't want to put them everywhere and then you have to go back and figure it out. It's so much more stressful that way. So lay it aside, lay it on your bed. If you don't have a sewing room dedicated just for sewing, you will be all right. So this part is just to show you the most stressful part, cutting it. And I would say when you start to read the instruction, take the longest time to read it carefully, because that used to be my pain point. I would just assume I know what I'm doing and I'll sew something. Then I find out that I sewed it on the reverse side. So take your time, read the directions, and enjoy sewing, and catch me for part 3.